Steven Correño for KO Artist Sports, right here with the new WBC 140-pound champion, Jose Carlos Ramirez. Congratulations, man. I haven't talked to you about that. Just tell me, man, how has life changed since you've gained that title?
It's been a beautiful thing, you know, for me as a young fighter to dream of becoming a world champion, and now being a world champion. I really feel like I'm living the dream that I once had, and you know, and it's been the pride, the expressions of the people when they meet me, when they see me. You know, it's a beautiful thing to watch and very motivating for me to continue pushing myself in the right track and to push myself in the sport of boxing to, you know, fight the best and bring the best fights in, for the fans that deserve it. You know, and it's just, I have so much respect for the sport now, and more than ever now, now that I have a responsibility as a world champion, you know, and there's been nothing but positive things.
Well, just on a personal level, man, just kind of describe that night for me. I mean, obviously it's a childhood dream. It's the green belt too, which I'm sure was special to you as a kid. You know, all us, you know, young Mexicans, obviously we see Julio Cesar Chavez, you know what I mean, holding the green belt as we were kids. So I'm sure as a boxer you saw that, and that's kind of what you wanted to grow up to kind of carry around your shoulder. Just describe to me that night and just kind of having that belt. Did you sleep with the belt that night?
I didn't sleep with the belt, but it was a very nice experience, becoming, you know, when they announced my name as the new WBC super lightweight champion of the world, I just felt such a big relief, you know, released off my shoulders, and I feel like now I could train more comfortable, you know, because there's no doubt now of either am I going to come out too short when I fight for my first world title. Now, you know, this is where the best things, you know, begin, and I'm happy to be here, but that excitement, the pride that my family showed as soon as I got off the ring. You know, it was my mother's first time traveling on a domestic airplane, and it was to go watch her son fight for a world title and come out victorious. Just the whole thing, you know, it seems very nice, you know, and, you know, she was full of joy. My son was there and present, seeing his father. He's 2 years old, so he probably won't remember when he gets older, but, you know, we'll tell him, hey, you know, when you were 2 years, show him the videos and the clips, and like when you were 2 years old, your dad became a world champion, and becoming a world champion, you know, you're going to be a world champion for the rest of your life. Yeah. So it was, you know, the whole experience was very nice. That's
awesome, man. It's a great story. Want to get to your next fight, July 7th, Danny O'Connor, and obviously your hometown in Fresno and Central Valley and all that. Tell me about that, man. Obviously, he's a tough guy, but just how special is it to you know, have your first defense in your hometown, have your people, you know, like come out and kind of give back in that sense?
Yeah, most definitely. This has been a great training camp, so I'm preparing myself for the best of Danny O'Connor. Every time someone has the opportunity to fight for a world title, they could, you know, I believe that they're going to push themselves, you know, past the limit, you know, as their opportunity presents to them. So I'm expecting a very prepared Danny O'Connor, and I just hope, you know, to be the better man that night, as I'm preparing myself to my potential and even more, pushing myself to, you know, to the limit as well. Working with Robert has been pretty amazing. Nothing but positive vibes. The faith in between both sides, the confidence between both sides of me and Robert are where it needs to be between a fighter and a trainer. And he seems very excited to train me, and every time he sees me work, I know there's things that always impresses him, especially as our first camp. So there's new things that he's learning from me that's, you know, that he likes, and there's also things that he's also fixing that's helping me become a better fighter. And then to go out there and fight July 7th, defending my world title, it's quite an honor for me. You know, Fresno it's a new boxing market for Top Rank, for all the businesses, and to bring that type of entertainment to the fans is a beautiful thing. I'm very happy, very thankful that you know, with Top Rank, with my team, Rick Murrigan, my manager, Manu Cunha, my mentor, and Fresno State University with Dr. Castro and Mary Castro have done a tremendous job and be very supportive on me bringing this fight to Fresno. So it takes the work of a lot of people, you know, to get this fights in Fresno. And I'm just happy to bring that excitement to the community more than anything. You know, that excitement, that entertainment, you know, that they're not used to seeing, or we're not used to seeing back in the days. And now coming back as a world champion, I know the excitement is gonna grow. It's gonna get bigger.
It's going to be a fun night for sure, man. Well, obviously, last I spoke to you, you were in the wild card gym. You were with Freddie. Now you're here with Robert. You're definitely at the cream of the crop as far as trainers goes. But, what was the reason for the move? Was it just you needed a new environment, something? I mean, kind of tell the fans why are you here now?
Yeah, sometimes, when you're in the gym so long, and you kind of go through the same routine. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need someone to really push you and show you something different and pick it up, And I think Robert's doing that now. It's a new environment, so it's like when a fighter gets new gloves, they can't wait to go and try them on, or when an athlete gets a new soccer ball, even though they haven't played soccer, they want to go out there and kick soccer all of a sudden. So that excitement, we need that excitement. And Freddie's a great man, and I respect Freddie so much. He's a part of my career. He's always going to be a part of my career because of what he showed me and what the tools that he presented to me. That my fighter, every time you see me fight, you're gonna see a little bit of Freddie Roach because he taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. Sometimes, but as time, fights are only gonna get tougher. The fighters are only gonna get, the opponents are always gonna get tougher, and the fights are only gonna get bigger. So we need, someone to really be there every time, who's young, who's motivated still, and I think Robert has those tools.
No, he definitely has a great camp here. It's not like you didn't make a lower move by any means. You talked about fighters getting tougher. Obviously, there's the 140-pound tournament happening. Regis Prograde's in that, at least the biggest name in that I can recognize. Victor Postal's around. Obviously, you're a champion. Are you looking at starting to unify? Are you maybe later on this year? Are you looking to move up potentially?
Yeah,
I mean, what's kind of the game plan?
There's a lot of great fighters at 140. You have, Regis Prograde, who's the most talked to because it was my mandatory. We have Victor Postal, who's fighting Josh Taylor. I haven't seen Josh Taylor much, but I know they say he's a good boxer. We have Maurice Hooker, who just won the WBO, I believe. He just beat Flanagan. And he went out there and actually beat him in his hometown, and so there's a lot of great matches, and if it was for me, my job right now is I have to defend the title. The WBC says I have to defend my title, so after this fight, there's a lot of options, and I'm even the tournament with the World Series of Boxing. I know they're making a very good tournament with the other WBA World Champion being a part of it too, and I think Regis is going to be a part of it, and a couple other good names. So maybe that tournament it's an opportunity for me to go out there and see where I'm at. You know what I mean? And all the doubts of who's the best 140 could be easily removed if I go in that tournament. There's also names like Manny Pacquiao, outside of that tournament that I could go in and try to get. There's names like Adrian Bronner, who are still who they could help my career by fighting a name like that. So there's different opportunities. There's young fighters there's prospects or contenders like Alex Salcedo, who's a good fighter, who's undefeated. I know he's ranked on WBO. I'm not sure if he's ranked in the WBC, but maybe I have to fight him before I could fight Mauricio Hooker for the unification, or maybe I'll wait until he beats Mauricio Hooker if he does, and then unify with Alex Salcedo for the 140 WBO. There's so many options. So my job right now is just to stay focused, and then hopefully get the opportunity to fight all those names in the near future after that.
Well, the future obviously looks bright with all those guys around and yourself. Want to talk about obviously something close to you, the water crisis in the Central Valley. I know you're a big advocate of that. Just kind of speak on that and kind of where fans who are concerned, maybe want to get involved, where they can kind of put their efforts.
Their efforts is just voting for the right candidate. We had a bond that was passed back in 2013, 2014 on the Proposition 1 ballot that was passed for a $5.7 billion bond, and they were going to use $3 billion to create projects for water storage. Now, when we made an application of the JPA, and which is a board of supervisors back in Central California that formed a project called Temperance Flat Dam, which was going to be a reservoir that was going to storage all the water for the communities and the farms. So when Mother Nature decides not to throw any water, then we have, you know, water that we could back up, right? Well, the Governor Brown, he assigned his own members of board members to decide on what projects, because there were multiple projects that were presented, what projects get how much money, right? And they did us really bad. They decided to finance those projects that have to do with more environmental reasons. And so so all the projects are going to be reservoirs and stuff like that, but it's only to control the balance between the ocean and the water that rains, so it could take care of the fishes and the animals and the, you know, the plants that live on the rivers. But not one drop of water, of that water that's being saved, is going to go for the communities and the farms. So, you know, it's just, that's how our governor works. You know, he's more an environmental person. He doesn't care about construction. He doesn't care about no trucks, and he believes all the trucks are being given the air bad pollution. You know, but this California is made of agriculture and construction. Here in Southern California, if there's no water on the ground, you can't build. So then where's the jobs? You know, in Central California, if there's no water on the ground, how could you farm? So there won't be no jobs. And so, you know, they're so focused on you know, on the environmental purposes that they're really throwing all the people under the bus. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at right now. We lost that battle, but we need to find a way to try to get the federal funds going into DC, and try to see if how we could, you know, present a certain format of a project that we could get some water to get this project done. But all I could do is just make sure now we have a new governor. We have new elections for the new governor. So make sure you guys go out there and vote for the right candidate. You know, that's how I could tell everybody to go out there and just go out there and vote. Don't ignore your votes. You know, it does make a difference.
It definitely does, man. I'm happy to see that you're advocating for something, because, you know, it's good to stand for something, especially on the platform that you are and bringing the attention you are. Thank you so much, man. July 7th, Danny O'Connor, Fresno. Jose Ramirez, appreciate your time, man. Thank you.